to my channel. Well, I have a couple little things here that you may or may not be interested in. I got some glow tape, 1/2 inch, 15 feet. Yeah, it's made in China. It says the glow will last up to 10 hours. Alright, now the reason I got that is mainly for this light. I like this little stream light, but for some reason, because of the color, this thing can hide very easily in my environment. A flashlight is one of those things you want to be able to find, in the dark. So a glow-in-the-dark thing comes in handy for this, because you can charge it up, in the day or whatever, but if you ever drop it, you're going to be able to find it easier, especially if you've got a UV light. These things just like stand out like neon with an ultraviolet light. But I wrapped it around this part right here. It's just the part that pulls up. It happens to be the perfect width for it. And it's just, just to give me a little something to show that. It's pretty easy to use this stuff. It's just a peel off back. And so that's just something you might want to consider. If you can put it on anything, glow in the dark. So, I mean, you can put it on anything you want to glow in the dark. And the main use for these are like I said, to be able to find them in the dark. Because if you've ever dropped, like these camouflage covered knives and stuff, with tree bark and all that, they look cool. Yeah, till you drop one in an environment, in a background that matches the knife. You'll never find it. So, yeah, good job there, camouflage. You hid so well. Now you're going to rust out in the forest. So, that's one thing. All right, now I'm trying to get a hat for Goofy to protect him. But here's another thing that Toby and family sent me that it's a project type of thing. It's a make-a knife. It comes in this little, magnetic flat box. And then it's one of these SX90 kit, of course. But it gives you all the little parts to make a Lagouille or, like a French type of knife. Now, I took this out over here because I learned from trying to put handles on my own knives that these are going to go in a certain way. Like the first time I put this one over here, the holes matched and everything, but the wood was sticking up and everything. This one's almost pretty much finished. You just have to sand down these edges to match, and everything. It's the same way with right here. When you line these holes up, it's pretty flush down here. Yeah, so there's going to be a way that these were assembled that's going to match. You can do it the other way. It's just going to take more, hand finishing. Made in China. That's a little decal. You know that's coming off. Oops. Because the pieces might have been made in China, but you know what? It's going to be made here in America. So I could slap one of those. If I put this together, I could slap a sticker on it saying, "Made in America," of foreign and domestic parts. And the domestic parts will be my labor. And the foreign parts will be all of the knife. So yeah, that's how, if you go by labels, if you're just going by brands and everything, that's how you're going to get fooled. You're going to buy what you think is an American brand, and you're going to find out that all the parts were, or a majority of the parts, were made and finished and just basically assembled here in America. I say this because I was watching my rants again about Chinese knives. I just went back because I know I've made several of them, so I just looked at, from the first time I did one through the end. And each time I basically am saying the same thing over and over again in a different way, some more passionate than others. But this is pretty cool. This is like a rainy day type of thing, or when you're in the mood to build a knife, you know, because you learn a lot of things about it, you know. How a mainspring goes in there, how the knife locks. It's fairly sharp. Let me dig this out without getting cut. I'm trying to do this looking through the lens. It gives you a little finger hole grabbing things, but oh man. Yeah, we don't want you. We want the blade. There we go. But yeah, it's got a nice little nail neck on it. Some little decorative. This is not really jimping. You know, if you wanted to finish this knife and make this jimping, you could just take a Dremel and make little dips in between right there, and that would give a recess to it and turn it into more jimping. There's your lock area. That's how it's going to lock up. But yeah, they're just, and then you got a little bag of pins, which I'm not going to open up because I'm going to lose them. Let's get the mainspring out here. Oh yeah, there's some finishing required. Look at that. I would, I don't know, maybe it's designed this way, but if I like the angles on this, but come on, man. Right here, this is too rounded. I mean, maybe it'll be all right. Here's a chance before you put your knife together where you could try to spiff it up a little bit if you wanted to. It's got that decorative, non-functional, you know. This one might actually be functional. You know that? This might be little wings that you pull on. I think so. To unlock the knife. Or maybe this is sloped just so that it... Yeah, before I start modifying something, I should really just put it together the way it is. You know, before you can finally pin it, because you're going to do this. You know, before you put the final pins in and everything, you can test it and see. Do I like the lockup? Do I like the way it's working? And if so, fine. But if not, not fine. I think it goes down like this. So yeah, you got no washers or anything in between. But it's not going to be, you know, it's not that kind of knife. It's a knife, but it's not that kind of knife. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking. I was going to use a dart cap for Goofy's helmet. It's round and it sticks up kind of high, like a top hat. It doesn't look like a construction hat. So I'm going to have to look, because there's all kinds of little things you could use for his helmet. I want something that's going to protect him as much as we can, because he's just a little goofy guy. And see, Terry learned. Terry, after he got wiped out a couple of times, he's up on the firehouse, and unless I got a really long knife, I mean, he has been attacked up there, but he don't jump down here like Goofy does. And everybody tries to warn Goofy, but Goofy just laughs it off. Anyway, there you go. That's just a little quickie about accessories. You know, little accessories you can get. Yeah, it's not super required. I always loved glow-in-the-dark tape anyway, you know, glow-in-the-dark stuff. And this makes it easy. Instead of mixing chemicals and glues and waiting for it to dry, you just slap it on there. And so far, this adhesive is pretty good on this. So, yeah. There you go, just a little early morning rambling because, you know, once again, the thing about heat and temperature is most people that live in hot environments like this learn to do most of their activities at night when it's cool. I mean, it doesn't even get down into the 70s at night. It's in the 80s. So, and it's over 100. Yesterday was 109. They almost set a record. I think they set a record for that day, but they almost set a record for the highest temperature ever recorded in North Texas. I mean, around Dallas and Fort Worth and everything is 110, and they came close to matching that yesterday. Anyway, there you go. I'm staying in the cool. Electricity grid's holding up, and if I try to do my walking, it's early in the morning, right after the sun comes up. That's usually right before the sun comes up. It's usually the coolest time to walk. But anyways, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.